Between the excitement is everything. I'm Mitch, and this is Mitch Reviews Everything. And today I will be reviewing from 2002 Falconer's second album, Chapters from a Vale, Forlorn. And of course I'm going to say this album is awesome because Falconer is my favorite band. And for those of you that may not know, Falconer is a Swedish power metal band that kind of has like a little Viking feel to it. And it is awesome. And this was a great follow-up to their first album, and it has, of course, a lot of the same themes that the first album had. Of course, people, going through hard times and the suffering of the common man and various aspects like that. And it also has some of their biggest songs, or at least some of the songs they used to play when they would do live shows. Unfortunately, I never got to see them live, but from the videos, they are always pretty much doing a song called The Clarion Call, which is an awesome song off this album, and an awesome Falconer song in general. It's regarding discussing whose side is God really on during, between two armies during a war, two nations during a war. Because most of the time both sides are claiming that, God is on their side, and it's really asking that question. It is a fantastic song, and it's a real thinking song. It's just absolutely incredible. It's very catchy. The first time I ever heard it, you just automatically are like, wow, this song is incredible. So, absolutely one of my favorite Falconer songs of all time. So, there's The Clarion Call. This CD also, again, continue with the same themes that Suffering has a song on it called We Sold Our Homesteads. And, of course, like a couple of Falconer songs on many of their CDs are based off of historical events. I'm not sure where this one comes from, but it's basically about a whole village that has to leave their homes, and as they're being forced off their land, and they're being relocated, they're dying along the way, and so it's a real, again, like kind of like that theme of sorrow and like, the hardships of like basically life, and Falconer does songs like this absolutely perfectly, and Matthias Blad, of course, was still the vocalist for this album, and at Falconer at this point in time, and he does an incredible job on the entire album. And I think one of the songs where he really shines is the ballad Portals of Light. It's a beautiful, beautiful song about losing somebody very close to you that you were dearly in love with, and it is an incredible song. You can really feel it when you listen to it, and Falconer just always, for me, puts me in a good mood. I would highly, highly recommend any Falconer CD, and this one is especially good, and I really enjoy it. The riffs on the guitars are great, the drumming's great, the vocals are just absolutely fantastic. So, Chapters from a Vale, Forlorn is a great album musically, and now I'm just going to go over the cover a little bit with you. As you can see here, it has, a book sitting on a desk that has a little falcon seal on it, sitting next to a candle, a little candle and a goblet, and it's gazing out a window into a valley, and it is absolutely an incredible cover. Really love this cover. This has always been one of my favorite covers because it leaves you wondering like what's going on with this. It's just a very unique cover, I think, for any album, but especially a metal band. It's just a fantastic cover. I absolutely love it. And another little trivial bit before we go here, this is actually the shortest Falconer album at 9 tracks, which, 9 tracks, oh well, it's 9 amazing tracks. But however, if you were lucky enough to get your hands on the Japanese version of this CD, you got a bonus track, which I believe is called Kungen's Man, and unfortunately I never got my hands on a copy of the Japanese version of this album, but I wish I did. I really need to get that someday, hopefully, but I just have the regular American version, or that was sent to America, I should say, but I really, really would love to get a copy of that. So if you're lucky enough to get your hands on a copy of the Japanese version of Chapters from a Vale, Forlorn, feel lucky. I want one. So, it does have 10 tracks if you got that, and it was sang, I don't know, in Swedish, so it was not in English vocals, and it's actually a cover song from Falconer. It's not an original Falconer song, and it goes over, of course, suffering of the common man, and it goes over a peasant who is being assaulted by a knight, a female peasant who's being assaulted by a knight, and she ends up killing the knight to save herself from the assault, and she ends up getting a manslaughter charge on her. So, great CD, Falconer, chapters from Vale, Forlorn. Please check it out. Please, you can look it up on Spotify, YouTube, or Amazon Music, wherever you want to pick this up, or, hey, buy a copy of it, a hard copy of it, and collect it, because it's really good. Love Falconer, and hopefully within the next, month or two, I get my video up for their third album, Scepter of Deception. That's all I had for you today. I'm Mitch, and this has been Mitch Reviews Everything.